Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're actually going to be going over quite a few settings that can help you in competitive and just overall anything you do. So normally what I do is I play a lot of tokens, which is wagers, right? Same thing, just called tokens, 'cause you're not supposed to be wagering. And I play a lot of like competitive sometimes. I'm not like crazy good at competitive because like I'm an East player, so ping does make me struggle a little bit, but I found an app that's helped me quite a bit there. Now I run like 30 ping in game while playing competitive, so I'll go over that too later. But in this video I just want to talk about a few things that can help you with delay. So obviously as I'm building, it looks like my delay is quite low. Yeah, I'm on 0 ping, but like I said, I have something for that I can show you guys later. But my delay looks kind of low. That's because I have low delay. Not only that, I'm on hard 240. Yes, the map has literally nothing in it, and it is meant for no delay, but that's not the only reason why my computer is running as good as it is. I'm gonna go over quite a few things. This goes for like anything low end, high end, mid range, even like some laptops. This will help you out. Also, I'm gonna cover a few things I said in my last video that a few guys had a problem with because I didn't talk about it, fully. So I'll make sure to go more into detail on some of those things too in this video. So let's get right into it. Starting off at number one, this is something I talked about earlier. Basically, what I meant by this, because you guys were so mad at me for saying I told you to put your processors on 1 or whatever. I didn't tell you to put your processors on 1. As you can see, I can't click this, right? Oh, shoot. I can't click the 1 because I'm not using the 1. If I check this off, then I'm using that 1. Basically, this is what it looks like on default is what I was going over. I basically said, if you have a problem, right? Because some people, for some reason, may talk to a friend or something along the lines of that. They'll go in here and they'll mess with this. Now, if you're having problems with your CPU, and it's like, let me pull up Task Manager for you while I talk about this. If you have problems with your CPU, like down here, it will look different. Let's see, it says processors 24, right? If yours doesn't say anything like that, it's because your number of processors is messed up. It should obviously be maxed. You want to utilize the most processors. But I said for the people that theirs is messed up, I basically, what I did was I showed you what the default looked like, and I said put it like this. I did not say put it as number 1. Somebody got confused. I'm not going to say names. They didn't know, right? Obviously, don't put your processors at the lowest. You don't want that. It's going to make your game run horrible, right? I was essentially saying don't touch it, right? This is what default looks like. If you have problems, put it back. If you want to, put it on 24, go ahead. Put it on whatever you would like, but be careful. Know what you're doing. I do not touch this. I was saying for the people that have problems, right? Go to this, right? Make sure yours looks like this. Make sure it's not messed with. Nothing's wrong with it, right? Everything down here I haven't touched. And just make sure, you're not messing with this too much. And to get to this, you just look up system config. Yours look like this. Go to boot and then advanced options on your current OS. Now that we're talking about OS, another thing you could do is something I actually don't need to do, but it helps out many people on getting your processes down. Now, what a process is, it's actually, as you can see right here on my CPU, it's 192 processes right now. Now, that's a lot of processes. It's not as many as a lot of people will have. Like on a low-end laptop, you could be running roughly, if you're running above 200 on a low-end laptop, you're probably not going to have the best delay or good FPS. Therefore, you want to keep your processes as low as you can. Now, running something like Atlas OS helps a lot. Now, here is one of the most popular ones. I personally don't know much about Atlas OS. I talked to a friend recently about it, and they said Atlas OS works for them perfectly. It helps them out with getting their processes as low as they can. So if you know anything about Atlas OS, let me know how good it worked for you. And it is completely safe to try, and I know it will help you at the end of the day. So give it a shot. I wouldn't be telling you if it didn't help you, right? So 100% give it a shot, and let me know how much better your computer run, or whatever it is you're on, running on a different OS. Anyways, let's move on to a few other things. Number 2, I talked about RAM. Now, when it comes to RAM, obviously what you want to do is enable XMP. Now, to enable XMP, all you have to do is go to your BIOS settings. Now, some BIOS settings will not have XMP as an option. Now, if you don't have XMP as an option, that's a little unfortunate. You might have to like change out your CPU, new motherboard, whatever it is you might have to do. Get a new PC, which is something you might have to do. On my old PC, I actually had an HP PC. Now, this PC didn't let me enable XMP, and I looked everywhere for it. I didn't know what to do. I watched many videos because I just didn't see the option. Now, this is back when I didn't know much about computers, and essentially what I was told by somebody that does know how to tweak a bunch, right? is I would more than likely need to get a new computer to enable it, right? Because there was nothing I could do to update it, nothing like that on that computer, and that's just unfortunate. So if you're not seeing an option, more than likely you will need to find ways to update it or whatever, like, because it's different for everybody too. Not everybody has the same BIOS, right? It really goes by what motherboard you have, and just if you have to upgrade something, be careful doing that because you don't want to, cook your CPU on accident or do something wrong. So just be careful in what you're doing. And the simpler option, you can do is just get a new computer. I know that's not as simple as saying it, but getting a new computer will solve all your problems. Right? Anyways, moving on. Enabling XMP. XMP, what it does is it basically makes your RAM, instead of running at half speed, which this is what it looks like without it on, instead of running it at half speed, enabling XMP will actually allow it to run at its full speed. So sometimes when you get RAM and you plug in your PC, plug it into your PC, let's say you just bought 32 gigabytes of RAM or really good 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I'll get to that in a second, and you plug it into your computer, sometimes your computer automatically has it enabled. And to know that is check what you ordered and the speeds of it. It will say it's max speed. Go to into your task manager, and it will show the speeds of your RAM and performance. Go to memory, and then the speed will be right there, right at the where it says speed on the right side. And if it matches what you bought, that means that is what you got, right? It's at its speed. XMP is enabled already. But if it's half of what you got, or lower than half, or whatever, it's not what you got, it means you don't have XMP enabled. Now, like I said, in order to do this, you do have to go into your BIOS settings, find the setting, which is different for everybody. You can look up a video on your motherboard, whatever it is, enable XMP. People got on to me earlier saying you will need 32 gigabytes of RAM. Right now, let me explain that. So what I meant by you will need 32 gigabytes of RAM. Let's say I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now I want to go enable XMP. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, it will not feel as good as enabling 32 gigabytes of RAM with a decent speed. It's just not going to. I played on a computer that I just recently had 16, and getting 32 made my computer feel way better, and it actually increased my FPS by a good 150. So it does increase FPS quite a bit too. Now, I know I'm yapping about RAM right now, but it's just people were so confused on what I meant, and me explaining it. This is why I didn't want to explain it. It takes a long time to explain because there's a lot to it, a lot more to it. But you can do 16 gigabytes of RAM with decent speeds and be fine. But I recommend, which is what I said in my other video, I recommend getting 32, really good 32 gigabytes of RAM. You'll never need to upgrade. You don't need more than 32. Essentially, you don't need more than 16. Most games only run at 8 gigabytes of RAM, just like Fortnite. It only runs at 8 gigabytes of RAM. It doesn't really go past that. But if you want to do something like watch a YouTube video while you're free building, watch Netflix while you're playing, or something like that, it will use more RAM. And that's what it's for. Or if you stream. I stream and I do videos and I do a bunch of stuff. So having 32 helps out so much. Especially having XMP enabled, it helps out more than you'll realize. So just give it a shot. I highly recommend giving this a shot. Anyways, let's move on to a few other things. Next settings, it actually requires you to close Fortnite. So I just closed the game, and it's actually going to be some kind of crazy settings. So which help out a lot too. I'll explain why here in a second. So you right click your taskbar down here at the bottom, go to taskbar settings. I'm on Windows 11, but it's roughly the same thing. Now, if you look at this, task view, widgets, if I turn these on, I'm just gonna turn them on for the video real quick, and I click this, right? It enables, didn't mean to do that. It turns this on, right? Now look at all these pop-ups that are constantly running. You have all this stuff with all this enabled, and if you think this isn't gonna cause FPS problems, you are 100% wrong, right? There's so much stuff going on here, and it's just not really something that you want on, right? So turning this off helps out a lot. Also, if you want this on down here, you can have it kind of just, it's like tabs pretty much, but I recommend having all of this off here. And it's just you right click your taskbar, go to taskbar settings. Really easy to do. Another thing, game bar, is I recommend having your controller open game bar, because when I plug my controller in, let's say I want to go play controller, but it just opens up my Xbox stuff, and it's kind of annoying because having all that open in the background causes more processes that you just essentially don't really need. So that's another thing I recommend having completely off is the game bar. All right, now we go to storage settings, and in here you'll see, there it loaded, you'll see quite a few things. You have temporary files. I recommend removing all your temporary files. Refresh it. It removes all of them. Free up some space there. and then go to storage sense right here. Just have this off. You don't want storage sense on because it just runs always in the background. So make sure you just have this off. These are a few settings in the computer that will help you out quite a bit. Deleting your temporary files, freeing up space, and storage sense off. You don't want any of those on at all. This on at all, because it's just always running in the background, causing a little bit of problems. Now that you got all that figured out, so down here you got a few things open, right? So as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5 things open, right? So anything you're not using, just close, and it'll lower your processes by a lot. I'm using OBS to record. Also use it to stream, so it's always open. This is my keyboard. If I disconnect this, it kind of messes it up, so I leave that on. Other than that, that will bring your processes down a lot. And processes is what causes delay problems and can even cause you to have a lot of FPS problems as well. Next, we're actually going to talk about Gear Up Booster. Now, Gear Up Booster is what helps me bring my ping down. I boost Fortnite or whatever it is I'm playing in order to get the best ping possible. You can also choose the servers of what of where you're located. Let's say you're playing a central tourney, click central. If you're playing a east tourney, click east, which everything's on central now if you're in the US. But you know, I keep it on auto usually because it just auto connects. So if I'm playing on central, it'll connect to central. If I'm playing on east, it'll connect to east, and then whatever, you know, and so on. So I keep it on auto usually, but that's how you get your ping as low as possible. If you'd like to try this app out, the link will be in the description, also pinned in the comment section. Easier for you guys to access. Just download that, free to use, free to download. Go ahead and give it a shot, and yeah, let me know how much that helps you out. And if you've tried it already, go ahead and let me know if it's helped you out before. Anyways, we're gonna move on to some Fortnite settings. This is still competitive settings, so here's everything you'll need to get the best competitive settings. If you watch Clicks or anybody like that, this is what they use. They use everything on like low. Sometimes they'll turn their view distance up, but this is like, it is different between a few people. So view distance, it doesn't give you an advantage between near and epic, right? Epic, basically all this does is it makes it to where how far you can see loot on the ground. So if there's a big pot on the roof, right, and you're far away, you'll be able to see it further away than somebody with their stuff on near, which isn't that big of a deal if you think about it. But yeah, changing this, it doesn't change how far away you'll see people or builds or anything like that, just loot on the ground. Everything else obviously off. Show FPS if you want it on, have it on. It doesn't really affect you too much. Your region, obviously all this should be whatever you want. And then the only settings in here that you 1000% need off is high quality replays. No need for any of that. And then these two settings down here 100% should be off. Other than that, everything else is your choice. I'm gonna go ahead and go over the best like keyboard or mouse sensitivities I think for competitive is I play 1600 DPI, 4.0, 4.0. On 800 DPI, this would be 8.8, so 8.0, 8.0 if I was on 800 DPI, but I play 1600, so 4.4, then 35. I don't mess with my building and editing. Lock input method as mouse, keep on. Here are my custom diagonal movements, help you out a little bit with strafing. This is 0%, and here's my keybinds if you would like them. I know quite a few of y'all like my keybinds. They're some of the most comfortable keybinds you can have. Because I don't know, I made them when I first started keyboard and mouse. I didn't want to copy anybody else's because it was really confusing and their hand was moving weird. So I made my own, made it really easy to use. So yeah, slow this down, pause it if you need to. Highly recommend these keybinds. Okay, so you're gonna go over something that you can find in my Discord, which is linked in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this out of my Discord. Sorry, just staring at my screen for a second. Go ahead and grab this out of my Discord. Where is this at? YouTube stuff. It'll be my Discord underneath YouTube stuff. So if you want this link, like if I forget to put it in the comment section like I always do, or the description, sorry, you can find it in my Discord. So which is pinned in the description as well. Okay, you right click this, terminal admin, yes, paste this in. Make sure you don't have that little thing. Click enter. Let it load. Let us do its thing. Then this will pop up. Now mine looks green. Yours might look something else. I have dark theme enabled. Also, do not touch this snap asset fly out. It'll make your PC go all white. So yeah, just don't do that. And yeah, click desktop. And if you're on a laptop, click laptop. Now this will help you a lot with quite a few things. So if you're having a problem finding how to delete temporary files, boom, right here. Run a disk cleanup, boom, right here. Great restore point. Highly recommend it if you want to go back to how everything was. Set display for performance. Boom, right there. Mass acceleration settings right here. Disable it. File extensions, disable, 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 disable this. Enable dark theme, sure. Sticky keys, gone. Just like that. Remove all Microsoft Store apps. So that means, which you can reinstall them. This does not mean they're gone forever. Remove Microsoft Edge. It's not recommended because, I mean, you might need Microsoft Edge. But yeah, so I usually remove my Microsoft Edge. I have it right now just because I don't mind having it. But if you want to remove it, you can. And I use Chrome. It will make you download something like Firefox, but just be careful doing this. Make sure you make a restore point. You can go right back to where you were. Very easy to do. But yeah, you can get rid of a bunch of different things here. You can disable temporary files, you know, all kinds of stuff, and it's just really easy to do. I'll go ahead and click everything I would do personally if I was doing this right now, which I've already done it. So there's no point in doing it again because it just won't do anything for me. So disable notification tray, set display performance, set service system manual. Uncheck that. Game DVR, don't even have one. Okay. Disable hibernation, disable storage sense, which I already showed you how to turn off. Disable home group, disable location tracking. You don't want that on. Run disk cleanup, cleans up everything. Run delete temporary files, deletes all your temporary files. Disable active history. It gets rid of like recent docs, clipboards. It literally says it right there. And run history. So yeah, get rid of all that. I mean, I recommend doing it. It's no biggie. And then all this other stuff, I wouldn't do this. I probably wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't really do this. And then Wi-Fi sense. I mean, yeah, there you go. I'll do all this. This is what I would do right here. And then you click run tweaks. It takes a few seconds. Once it's done, it's done. Research your PC, load it up, and it should run a lot better. That is it for this YouTube video. A quick recap on quite a few things that I talked about before. Talking about a few things that I needed to cover because you guys were screaming at me in my comment section. So yeah, that's all covered. And I hope this video did help you guys out. And I hope you in your competitive journey do way better and your PC runs way better. And I hope you guys all do good. Let me know if this video did help you out. If it did, share it to a friend, share it to a duo, do whatever. And if you could use code T1LCR in the Fortnite item shop, it would help me out a lot. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video.